You're listening to RIA Radio, the nationally trusted name in real estate investing. We dig deep to discover investors' why in real estate. If you want to skip all the BS and get in investors' heads, you're in the right spot. Be one of the thousands to check out RIARadio.com.
This episode is brought to you by PropStream.com.
PropStream is one of the most trusted real estate data software solutions. PropStream benefits all real estate professionals. You can find properties and contact homeowners on the go with PropStream's mobile app. We offer free academy courses tailored to real estate investors and agents. Take advantage of our live webinar demos to learn the software and scale your real estate business. Visit www.propstream.com and sign up for your 7-day free trial to get more leads and grow your business.
Welcome to the Real Estate Rundown, episode 155 with Owen Dashner and Ted Kaasch. Owen, what is the reason you think that everything has kind of gone crazy in the last 2 weeks? I don't know what you're seeing on your side of the business, but I am seeing all types of real estate come through. Like I'm now seeing over 70, I think, off-market opportunities hit my plate with potential listings coming up. I mean, it's just bananas, right? All of a sudden,
you know, like we were talking about before we started recording. What's come on my radar recently is with my hard money business, we have been flooded with requests for loans. Yeah, it seems like it went from no transactions at all. Well, actually, that's still true. I don't feel like there's a ton of transactions happening, but yeah, I've seen a lot of inventory pickup. I mean, I know you're beating this drum about the election. Do you think that's the reason? Like, people are just like, you know what, this is going to be either a what's the South Park thing, the giant douche or the shit sandwich is the result of the election, one or the other.
Well, I think the interest rate drop definitely put some fire under people's butt to get moving. I think that's a catalyst for it.
But okay, hang on, let me stop you there.
Yeah,
mortgage rates have gone up. Like the Fed dropped their rates, but mortgage rates have actually gone up after they initially went down.
But I also,
they're over 6.
But I also told you that people don't evaluate anything. They just look at the interest rates. Like, oh, the interest rates dropped, the Fed rate dropped, I'm good. Like, a lot of times it's your initial investors or the people just don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just see the interest rate drop and like, this is the time.
I know, but they're but are they looking at the Fed rate or are they looking at the mortgage rate? Because it's not, the mortgage rate is not dropped.
Well, the Fed rate, obviously.
Yeah. Maybe wake up and look at what you're actually doing.
We specifically talked about this too. Yeah. Remember when it was coming down the pipeline, I was like, mortgage rates are already where they're going to be. And we talked about this like a month ago, or a month and a half ago. And I go, but because this drop happens, I go, it's gonna accelerate the market here. But I don't know what to think about it because that part's going nuts. But what I can tell you is I have had more political conversations with people on both sides from all around the country that have hit me up and like, I'm selling my portfolio because I want cash in my pocket because so-and-so might be president or because so-and-so is going to be president. I've heard it on both sides. Both sides think that the economy is going to go to crap
either way.
Either way. You got the Democrats that are like, oh, if Trump gets in, the economy is going to go crap and there's going to be in world war. And then the other side's like, if Kamala gets in, the world's going to go crap and it's going to be world war. Both sides think that their side is the savior and the other side is going to ruin everything.
I don't know, man. I don't like either choice personally, regardless of which political affiliation, you lean out there. I don't know. I just don't think either one of them is a great option personally. That's just me. I don't know. But back to the real estate market. I don't know what it is, but I've had a crap ton of loan requests come in here in the last 2 weeks, like multi-million dollars worth.
Yeah.
In a variety of different deals.
When's the last time you were this busy?
I don't know that we ever have been.
Wow,
we had the volume of loan requests we've had coming in has eclipsed any other past time that I can think of.
That's a statement right there.
It's been fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's also, I mean, they're coming in from everywhere, like Kansas City, Texas, Alaska, Minnesota, Des Moines, Iowa, Kansas, like all these random places. In addition to Omaha, all the ones where I already have in Omaha. But
are you guys dividing and conquering when these leads come in? Like how, like when you get this busy, like who's stepping in and running?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. So like with our hard money business, we have a website, liquidlendingsolutions.com, if you want to submit a loan request. And when
not a sponsor yet, but hopefully one day.
When a lead comes in for that, we all get an email, right? So it notifies us application submitted, and then basically it has all the details of it: property address, purchase price, loan request amount, et cetera, et cetera. And then, Angie is our director of lending operations. She basically will do the intake with the the potential borrower, gather their info, and then we've kind of designated Brandon as more or less our acting CEO,
numbers
COO. And he likes doing a lot of the day-to-day operations.
I figured he'd be your CFO.
No, he loves operations. He's a good COO, and he is he seems to like it. I don't know, he hasn't complained to me recently, so that's been fun. But yeah, I think the market is it's just weird right now. It's hard to predict which way it's going to go and what prices are going to do and rates, and I don't know.
I'd really love to get Brandon here just to talk.
He will never do it.
I like to talk about what he's done in the past, but also, I mean, he'd be interesting just to talk about numbers and how he analyzes deals.
Yeah. Well, he is probably not going to come on. But,
one day
we'll keep pestering him about it.
One day he's going to do it, man.
I was surprised that we've gotten a couple other people like Luke Schulmeyer in here. That really blew me away that you got him to commit. So maybe you can work it out.
The power I have is amazing.
Your charisma. Well, speaking of being charming, I have a golden nugget.
This golden nugget is brought to you by Magic Door.
Magic Door is the AI-powered property management platform designed to handle everything from the rent cycle to the vacancy and maintenance cycles. During the rent cycle, Magic Door collects rent, sends automatic reminders, deducts management fees, and distributes payments to owners. In the vacancy cycle, Magic Door streamlines listings, tenant applications, seamless multi-language communication, screening tenants, and converting applications into leases with one click. And for the maintenance cycle, Magic Door's AI handles everything, asking tenants key questions, assigning tasks to vendors, and scheduling repairs automatically without you getting involved. With no hidden fees, no onboarding costs, and seamless AI-powered automation, Magic Door takes care of the entire property management lifecycle so you can focus on what matters most.
I think this would be good. If you are interested in multifamily investing, you have some properties already, I thought I'd bring this up, and I would assume that some people do this exercise, but this is the way that I kind of look at an upcoming potential renovation that you could do to and so like let's talk about commercial multifamily. So 5 units or more. Typically, when you have a valuation done on that, they take net operating income divided by the going cap rate, and that'll arrive at what the valuation of the building should be. That's your quick and dirty math on it. Of course, it's not a full-blown appraisal, but when I'm looking at, let's say you've got a unit that is dated, right? So you haven't done any updates to it. You've got a tenant that's going to be moving out, and you have options there. So you could just do like clean it up, do some break fix stuff. So just basically a make ready, put it back on the market, probably rent it for about the same as what you were renting it before. Or you have the opportunity here to look at, say, okay, what is it going to cost me to do a full remodel in this, and what type of a return can I get out of that? So in order to help you kind of do the big picture math on this, what I'd like to do is an exercise of just say, we're going to use round numbers on this. So we'll say unit remodel. So we're talking blinging the place up a little bit, getting it modernized so that you have, let's say stainless appliances, solid surface counters, new paint, new flooring, new fixtures, that kind of thing. So let's say it's going to cost $10,000, okay? And you are looking at your potential rent increase. And again, to use round numbers, I'm going to say it's going to be $100 a month. So you put $10,000 in, you get an extra $100 a month. Is that a good return? What do you think?
I would say yes.
Okay, so let's work the numbers on this. So in multifamily like this, in commercial real estate, you take the net operating income, and that's what determines the value of your building, right? Mm-hmm. So your NOI, net operating income, is the end of year total of your net income, and you arrive at that by taking your gross income, so all the rent you're taking in and the income from the property, you subtract out all of the operating expenses. Just operating expenses, not CapEx, not debt service. So property taxes, insurance, repairs, management fees, all that, right? So once you have your net operating income number, you can arrive at and for this exercise, we're going to use a 6% cap rate, which is probably low. I think cap rates, at least in our neck of the woods, have gone up a little bit, which generally results in a decrease in value of your asset that you have. But okay, so you've got $10,000 you're going to put into a unit remodel, and then let's say it's a 10-unit building, right? You're like, okay, I can bling this out, 10 grand. I'm going to put into it, $100 a month. At the end of the year, the math is easy on this. It's $1,200 of increased money in your pocket
per unit.
Per unit. So we'll use one unit as an example here. So you take that $1,200 at the end of the year and you divide that by the cap rate of 6. So to do that, you take 1,200 divided by 0.06 because that's 6%. And you're going to arrive at a number of $20,000, right? That $20,000 is the increase in value of your building or your asset, your apartment complex, whatever it is. So 10 grand in equals $20,000 in increased value. So you get 100% ROI on that unit remodel. And you can see here, when you multiply this out by number of units, so if you have a 10-unit building, or let's say you just want to improve 10 units because you got vacancies coming up, that's going to result in if it's 10 units times $1,200, that's $12,000 at the end of the year. That will increase it by $200,000. So that's your quick and dirty math on your ROI that you can get from your spend on unit remodels. So if you can juice your returns by that delta, or whatever your number is, maybe that's too low for you, maybe that's just right. It's all, there's no according to Hoyle on this, but according to Owen, it's a good exercise to go through this golden nugget.
But also, if it is a $10,000 remodel, and you do get an increase of $100, you can just kind of follow your 1% rule for quick math.
How do you mean?
Well, generally, if you get 1% return on your investment, then generally the numbers tend to work out in the end. I know you're coming up with the increase in value,
right?
But as a quick look at a property, and if I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, so if I
I see what you're saying. You're saying you take the $10,000 you spent at the end of the year, you have $1,200 in your pocket. That's 12% return.
If I'm looking at them as a
cash on cash
monthly return, yes,
yeah,
that's what I was just based on. That's kind of how I quick look at it. I'm like, hey, if I can just increase. If I do this quick number, it gives me a 1% return on my money.
Yeah, it would be 12% at the end of the year. Yeah, exactly. I see what you're. Yeah, we arriving at the same thing through a different exercise. Yeah, but I just thought that might be useful. So keep your calculator handy on your phone there and do some math on this when you have an opportunity coming up where you can put money into it and you want to figure out, okay, what can I get out of this? So it's not just the increase in value of the building because you can't spend that unless you do a refi later, right? But like you said, the cash in your pocket should have a good ROI on it as well. So if you spend 10 grand, you get 1,200 at the end of the year. That's 12% return.
I think that will make a great video short.
Yeah, there we go. Make it happen.
Put the math on there like a little chalkboard as he's talking. And then watch it on our Instagram channel, Ria Radio.
There you go.
Yeah.
How's your week, buddy? You been doing anything new and exciting?
So I'm moving forward with getting some construction work. I've done some properties. So meeting out some contractors, checking out some new people, which is always kind of fun to test out some new people. I got some tile work getting done right now. I got a fence getting done right now. I have concrete work happening right now. So it's been busy. And my last week was crammed, man. Like I had like a whole bunch of CE credit hours I'm trying to get caught up on. So
what's your deadline? You have to, before the end of the
December
year?
31st.
Oh, okay. So you got a little bit of time.
But there was a lot of hours. Like I had a whole day class, but I wish I could remember his name. But there was a gentleman that was speaking at one of the classes. Really interesting. Lots of investment real estate, written books, and it's always funny. It was a technology and social media course. And here I am. I'm like, for C credits, and I'm like, list this guy that is like 65, 70 years old, talk about it. And he wasn't so hip on like the texts that were happening, with his computer and his phone, which kind of made me laugh a little bit. But then he had a lot of tips and tricks he was doing with different programs. Like I was watching his YouTube channel, and all of a sudden, like it had like an AI botted system that was in like, I was just watching his screen as he's working, and then he was on his YouTube, and I was like, it suggested like 10 titles. Here's the 10 titles that you should do, and it rated each one what's going to hit the best. Here's the hashtags, and it rated each one that was, and it tied right into his YouTube account and his Google account.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm like, how much does that cost? He's like $100 a month. and then he's like,
at a 6 cap.
Yeah, and then and at one point he's like, yeah, I had to like literally have my wife go through my account because I had thousands of dollars in expenses with all this, different tech I'm signing on. I'm like, that's my fear right there.
Yeah, I would love to be in technology sales and call on you because you're like, yes, must have it. You're, like with your Airbnb, you have like 20,000 add-ons.
Yeah, that's why I scare people away from buying them.
Oh man, that's funny.
So I know I got a lot, but I did get his card. He has his own successful podcast. He said he's getting about 100,000 viewers on his podcast every month. And gonna get him on. We were chatting for a little bit, gave him a ride home after the event, and we just kind of talked on the way there. And he's got some interesting insights, and we how we love book authors.
Yeah. So I had this topic change here, but I have this property. I don't know that I've mentioned this before, but we bought it's called an earth berm home.
You brought this up a couple weeks ago,
and we got
Is it viewable from the interstate?
No,
Okay.
no. It's way off the beaten path
Got
there.
it.
Yeah, it's like gravel road and 10 acres. Actually, this is kind of cool. I was talking about this to one of my business partners, Andrea Foley, and it just so happened that her parents, her mom and stepdad, were looking for a house, like kind of in the price range. Long story short, we ended up showing them the house, and they like totally fell in love with it because it has an earth berm home is built into a hill, right? So there's no windows on the backside. You mow the roof. It's super weird.
I wonder how that
There's
works.
Skylights.
How does that work with leaks? I wonder.
I don't know, actually. We haven't owned it long enough. I don't know enough about it, but it has 2 skylights, and one of them was broken with a bunch of hail that happened during this year. So we're replacing that, and the other one, a lot of the stucco around the edges cracks. I have literally never been in a house with a skylight that is not leaking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you? Every time I look at a house that has a skylight, it's like, oh yeah, it leaks, or it was leaking, or whatever. There's damage up there, and we haven't fixed it.
I did just put brand new skylights in my Airbnb in October with a brand new roof. And it's already leaking. They're gonna warranty it.
They're really cool as they add a ton of natural light and whatever, and it has a neat effect. But not practical at all. Or the technology behind the material they use is not good because they always leak.
I should have just sealed them off when I was doing that big remodel.
But this was funny because I just happened to mention to her in passing, and she's like, "Oh, well, maybe my mom would want to take a look at that." So we met them out there, and they walked through, and they loved it. It's gonna be perfect for them because it has a mother-in-law separate building, like right next. It's connected, but you can close it off, because your in-laws lock it,
Get them out,
throw away the key. But it's great. So win-win on that, and that all happened because I just told her what we had, and that's why talking about the stuff that you're doing is so important.
Maybe you should start posting these properties that you have.
Oh, that could help, I suppose.
I mean, use that social media account instead of posting your dog all the time.
I like posting my dog.
I didn't say
I have at least
you should.
I have at least 2 fans that like every time I post a picture.
And then after that, you can post.
Not Aiden,
after that, you can post the houses you find.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll do that.
I do miss the horde houses you used to post.
It's been a little bit, man. Brandon and I were just talking about this last week where we've gotten pretty picky recently on buying stuff because it's a lot harder to sell things now for prices that make sense. And it's hard to get accurate comps because when you're flipping, you got to know what you can sell it for at the end. That is a very, very important aspect of it, the after repair value. And I don't trust them now because you can pull comps from 6 months ago and you're fine because property values were just going up or, slightly up or staying the same. Now it's like, okay, comps were good, a couple of months ago or 3 months ago, but now I don't know. There's just sitting stuff, the time of year and all that. So we're just being really picky and choosy about the projects we take. Only Earthberm homes from now on.
I had a guy on the podcast, we have a guy that's coming on the podcast named Joe Thompson. I was just having a discovery call with this morning. And he buys a lot of real estate, and he's telling me that he found an AI system that runs the comps. He says every property gets now provides 25 comps from 25 different sources.
Oh, okay. So like Zillow, Trulia, like Realtor.com.
So it comps out there all these different companies and then breaks them all down for you and then creates the average.
Oh, that's cool. And now is that a software product he's selling?
I don't know.
Has he sold you yet on it?
It's just one he's using. But I was like, I'm definitely interested to know.
Ted's in. He's like, I'll be their pilot beta tester.
I like to compare my comps. So it's kind of like when I get rent comps. I always tell you I look at 4
property
platforms,
manager and so forth,
and I compare it and average it. Well, I could take my comp and then take all the ones that are in the zone of it and then average it out.
I can't wait to talk to him. That'll be kind of cool. See how he came up with that, because I've thought about doing that stuff before. There's a lot, when you're looking for good data, you have to go to multiple sources and stuff, and that's why like Luke Scholmeyer's helped me with stuff randomly where I'm just like a monkey with a hammer, trying to figure out like what to do with the software, and he's like, oh yeah, I can knock that out in 15 minutes. So yeah, that's really cool though. And then, by the way, I did want to give you kudos, man, because I have been looking at our upcoming slate of podcast guests. There's some strong people in there.
Yeah, we have some good ones.
Yeah, and it's funny because I noticed Tom Kroll is one of them.
Yeah.
I listened to him. He was on, I think it was his brother-in-law. There's a guy named Todd Toback that has a real estate podcast. He's been around forever. He's like one of the original real estate wholesaler podcasters. Okay. Right? He has hundreds of episodes. Super smart guy, and he spent he had like a series, like a 3 or 4 or 5 part series where he was specifically training Tom Kroll on wholesaling. He did not know one thing about it, and he was asking all these dumb questions that everybody would ask if they're starting.
You're excited about that one?
I am, yeah. and then now Tom Kroll has leveraged that into he's a crazy successful investor wholesaler. So I'm excited to get that on. I'm going to call him out for being such a noob on that podcast out there.
Well, and we also have Stella Hahn.
Oh yeah,
coming up, and then
Hella Stella,
and then Craig Curlop.
Yes, right, from Bigger Pockets, published author. That's going to be a good one.
I'm excited to have Craig, and then
he's the house hack. Isn't that kind of his shtick?
I believe so.
House hacking, yeah.
And then John Sexton's going to be coming up here soon. He has a TV show, How to Flip Nashville.
Oh, that'll be neat.
Flipping Nashville.
I love Nashville as a city.
Yeah. So we're finalizing that one. We had a date planned out, but he got really sick, and then so we'll get that one on the schedule too.
Cool.
So excited. This episode is brought to you by JM Real Estate Capital.
Hi, it's Rob, JM Real Estate Capital. We're the money guys that you need to know for all your real estate investments. Talk to us. We can do what your local bank can't or won't do. We don't have millions. We have trillions with a T to lend. 844 we close, or go online, jmrecapital.com. That's jmrecapital.com. JM Real Estate Capital, smart solutions for the real estate investor.
But hey, stay tuned to Wednesday's podcast because we have David Welty coming on.
Local legend. David Welty.
And we were really trying to push to have more topical conversations. So, besides getting into David's story, we're definitely going to you're definitely going to learn a lot about title. So this episode is going to be really title heavy. You're going to find the ins and outs of title, the advantages of title, what really title insurance is.
How to start a title company, how to run it, what you need for employees, how underwriting or how the underwriters work when title insurance comes around. It's going to be a really good conversation. I think you guys will really like it.
Yeah, and then the mistakes of trying to start a title company.
And also trying to invest and figuring out it's not for you. This is going to be this is funny. You'll have some good stuff in here to check out.
And then Dave does talk a little bit about his story of owning rental properties and flips, and how everything isn't all sunshine and rainbows. So enjoy that, and so that'll be episode 156 with David Welty. So stay tuned to Wednesdays.
Just a reminder, anybody catching this episode, so you'll be listening to this on October 2 weeks out. So I have this ongoing little meetup group. It's kind of a small group networking coffee deal. And it's been between, I've had 2 of them, and there's been about 12 to 20 people in the 2. And so we had a really good turnout yesterday. Not volume-wise, but we had really quality conversations yesterday. We all exchanged referrals for contractors, lenders, title, like you name it. We just went through and basically just said, hey, I really could use another plumber. And then everybody went around. And what I really liked about that conversation was you got to get like actual context for someone's referral. Like here's what he did for me or she did for me, and here's what it cost. And I really liked working with him. And we had there's like 12 or 13 of us there, and we got really good, testimonial out of that. So I got some really good contacts out of it. We also talked about how much stuff costs currently. So I got an HVAC system replaced on Wednesday this week, and I was shocked at how much more it is now.
$8,000.
It was $6,800, and this was in a 2-bed, 1-bath house.
Yep.
And I had to get the A coil, a condenser unit, and the air handler all replaced, so the whole system. But I was like, dude, why is it so much? I'm not used to paying this much. And he's like, that's how it is now, man. Like, all the stuff is more expensive. It's new coolant. All the AC units are changing over. R22, the A410 is going to be
propane.
Yep. Yeah, that's really weird to me. Yeah. But anyway, just a reminder about that. It's called Caffeine and Cap Rates, and I have the invite posted on the Omaha Real Estate Meetup and the Omaha RIA pages on Facebook. And then also reminder, the upcoming Omaha RIA event is going to be at. Well, figured I'd remind you to remind them that that's happening.
On Wednesday, not Tuesday, the 6th, we're flying in David Dodge.
Oh, that's right. You kicked it back a day for scheduling or whatever.
For the election.
Oh, yeah, that small thing.
Yeah, so on Wednesday the 6th, so here in 2 days, we will have David Dodge, and we'll be at A Loft off 180th and Dodge. Doors open at 6, event starts at 7. If you don't remember David, he's on previous episode, but he is the master wholesaler of Missouri, and has written 3 books. Great speaker. Should be a fun event. Hope to see all you guys out.
Yeah, out of St. Louis. That'll be a good one. So. Yeah. All right, gang.
Well, with that, Owen Dashner, we see us out.
Okay, for those of you that like the real estate rundown on Mondays, we would love it if you would go out and like, subscribe, and share. And we will see you on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye. I don't remember what I do here.
This is where you say like, follow, da 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 da.
Okay. All right.
Redo it.
I know this is going to be in the bloopers.